Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And off we go from Lincoln Financial Field. Boston Scott on the return from his end zone. And the opening kickoff will not be returned, as that will be a touchback. Sanders' first carry of the game, and he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Now a carry for Sanders. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st down, Sanders. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. The defense was ready for the run-pass option, diagnosed it perfectly.
Not only did they stack him up at the point of attack, but he was met by a host of light-colored jerseys.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Now Sanders. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Throwing is Hurts. Complete. Smith has it. Oh, it's out. Smith lost it. And it's picked up by the Ravens. Not only a fumble lost there, but a fumble lost on your first drive in your own territory.
Now you're dealing with a lot of stuff here because you feel bad going off the field because you gave up the football. How does your own defense feel now having to go out there and stop them when the momentum is clearly shifted in their favor?
And they'll come out with a 3 tight end look on the first play of the drive. After the fumble recovery, it's Jackson. Flushed out right. And he'll be out of bounds.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
1st and goal, a chance to convert that early turnover into points. Dobbins, touchdown, Baltimore. Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the two-point conversion. Jackson here is going to look to throw, and he will get in to make it 8-0. So the signal caller doing it himself there on the two-point try.
You got to like that. We always talk about the ball staying in the hands of the best players, but most of the time you want to get it to a back, pitch it to a wide receiver. In this case, the quarterback did it himself.
Looky here, a touchdown, a two-point conversion, and now an onside kick. And the Eagles hands team able to cover it up. So an onside kick fail in the first quarter. Not sure I completely see the logic there.
It's not apparent, is it? You almost have to go deeper, I think, and maybe if we try and work along with them and speculate a little bit here, they must feel like they need to steal possessions in this game, and maybe they don't match up possession for possession with the opposite team. They've got to steal it and try and gain an advantage, and they tried. They just didn't get it done.
They go play action with Hurts. He'll buy some time right. And trying to get it to his tight end, Rodgers, and it's intercepted. It's Chuck Clark picking it off. And the Ravens are going to take over at their own 41. A young quarterback, Charles, rolling to his right. I know he's right-handed, but is that one that maybe a veteran sticks in his pocket?
I think so, but you have to remember with young quarterbacks, it may take a few years before they get all the stuff out of them that they did earlier in their career or even in their college days when they were used to being dominant. In this case, the NFL veteran defense ended up winning the battle.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. And that'll set them back 5. Now problems right out of the gate. We're going to get a delay. So that'll back him up 5. And with the play clock winding down, we're going to get a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Successive penalties have them looking now at a 1st and 20. From the gun, Jackson. The ball popped in the air and intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And he's able to get back here to the 33-yard line. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with a pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Sanders. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Second and 4. They'll run. It's Sanders. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line.
Well, they came into this game saying it was important that they set the tone and show that they can run the football. And I believe that they've done that here in the first quarter.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. On first down, Sanders. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. I also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. They'll run with Sanders. Big hole up the middle. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, a 23-yard run. And the Eagles move back within a couple of the lead. Here are the Eagles now as they're going to go for 2. Hurts will throw. And now he's going to go down. A big sack, and they're unable to tie it. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And last time, one play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a one-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action?
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
And Jackson going to have the first down as he will get to the ground to avoid the contact. A good gain on first has him set up with 2nd and just a couple of inches now from the 29. Jackson now. And Jackson's so tough to stop. He's got a first down, and he gives himself up there at the end. So from Philadelphia territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. And now Jackson will look to throw it. Flush to his right. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he's going to get it down to the 33-yard line here.
2nd and 1 is often an invitation to take the big shot downfield. I bet the offensive lineman said, are you kidding? We just get on our backs and let's go get the first down. They love being physical.
Steps away to his left. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard. A shotgun snap and a give to Dobbins. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. Second quarter action with 1:59 remaining. Coming up at halftime in a little less than 2 minutes, we'll send you to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman is standing by. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half. And he's taken down after a gain of 3 as they move it from the 22 to the 19. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. On second down, a run with Dobbins. Shortens the tackle.
Nice. We use the word relentless a lot with guys who are aggressive on the field. In this case, it really fits, doesn't it? How about his ability to break tackles and his feet never stop moving?
Now a 1st and 10 at the 11. Right back to Dobbins on 1st. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. Rolling to his left. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins.
Just about every coach we talk to says the crowd shouldn't affect us. That shouldn't be an issue. And in the next breath, they talk about taking the crowd and taking them out of the game by picking up 1st downs and keeping them at bay. I think we just saw an example of that there, didn't we?
Important to do, especially early in the game like they have. They'll try to run with Dobbins. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. J.K. Dobbins as the first half is winding down. And the Ravens would extend their lead here just before halftime. John Harbaugh thought about it, and now his guys are going to go for the 2-point conversion. They'll try and throw for it. Buying time to his left. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by 2 more. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go as they take over with just 17 seconds left before the break. Hurts throw there, taken in by Smith. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Pitch and catch there good for 13. And it'll be 2nd and 10. They'll throw now on the final play. Airing it out deep for Smith. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they've got the lead, CD. What do you expect from them in this second half?
Well, I like what they were able to do on the ground in the first half because they had a lot of success running the ball, and I certainly think we'll see more of that. But I'd keep an eye on that defense, and I think their coaches up in the box will do the exact same thing. If they start to see 1 or 2 guys start to creep towards the line of scrimmage, that'll be licensed to take some shots downfield.
To throw again on second down. Jackson escaping the pressure right. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Well, another fine run right there for Lamar Jackson, and CD, that one puts him over 100 yards now for the ball game.
And remember when all we talked about were 100-yard games from running backs? That when a quarterback did it was a surprise? With Lamar Jackson, that's part of the package as well. he'll have as many 100-yard games in the season as the top running backs in the league.
2nd and 10. Jackson on the move to his left. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 18. A big play that time on the catch and run.
That is definitely what we call on defense an uh-oh play. And what you mean by that is against Lamar Jackson, when you see him out of the pocket, your first thought is, uh-oh, he's going to try and run it. How do I get to him and get him on the ground? And guess what? That didn't happen, and his receivers took advantage.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is the time of the game when Jackson could really take over. He's got the defense's legs a little bit tired. He's got them on the run.
Yeah, this defense looks gassed, and you're exactly right. Second half with the lead. This is when Lamar. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. J.K. Dobbins taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Ravens take the opening kickoff of the 3rd quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. So the Ravens will keep the offense on the field as they're going to go for 2. They'll look to throw. Being chased out left. And he will get into the end zone to bump the lead up to 3 scores. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Scott on the return out of the end zone. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Off the play fake, here's Hurts. Rolling to his right. And he goes out right around the 39.
That's something we have not seen him do to this point, and that's take the ball, tuck it, and run.
Exactly right. His first carry of the game. I guess he picked a good time to do it.
He certainly did. Not only did he have the element of surprise, he's making sure he's judicious in taking off.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Eluding the pressure right. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Play action. Here's Hurts. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down.
My first thought is surprise, because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
Hurts fumbles it. Offensively lucky they were able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it.
You must be
Gonna try it here. He's back to throw. Looking here for Smith downfield. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, it looked like he had it and dropped it. And the Ravens get the football back and in great shape. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And he'll get 3 down at the 34-yard line.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
A big play that time through the air. 31 yards. They'll run with Dobbins. And he'll be stopped about a yard shy of the goal line after a pickup of about 3.
Well, they made the play there, and I'll guarantee you their coaches and the other players are screaming at them about their pride. Come on, guys. He's already gotten in 3 times. You can't give up a 4th one. And on that play, they were able to make the stop.
And you knew they were going to go to him to try to get that 4th.
And why wouldn't they? It's not just getting the 4th. He's the hot hand, so to speak, right? The hot feet in this situation. And he knows how to find the end zone. That time, he just didn't get there.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd and goal now as they look to add a few more points here on it. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. J.K. Dobbins taking it in from a yard out. And the Ravens will extend their lead. Everybody in the stadium knew what they were going to do right there, CD. 3 tight ends on the field, all that extra bulk, and they run it in.
And you saw where that one went, right? You run it over your best blocker. I can just see the head coach right now. I want to run this one over the big boy. And they got it done.
Tucker with the extra point. And they open the lead up now to 25. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And the drive will begin at the 25 as Scott is going to stay in the end zone. Already at the line, this Philly offense set to go. Let's just be frank. They're playing for pride at this point.
that's all that's left, because victory, not a chance now. And I can't wait to see how they actually go about doing it, because there are a lot of people watching the body language of the guys on the field now, and if they call plays they want executed, they need to do that and do it really well. Otherwise, there could be repercussions.
We'll see how they handle the waning moments of this one. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Hurts. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And this throw will be intercepted. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens will take over possession here up at the 44. For this defense, CD, that's kind of the icing on the cake here as we get to the end of this one.
And didn't you feel that they weren't just going into total prevent there? You know, they had the lead, and sometimes you fall back and you lose your aggressiveness. Not in this case. They were still making a play on the football, and look how that one turned out. They may have salted this one away.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. He's going deep for Brown. Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. Picked off by Rodney McLeod. And the Eagles are going to have it here at their own 15. Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. Sets up to throw it. He'll get this right back to Rager. Now the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down. Now another timeout called for by the offense as they stop it here with 1:07 remaining. It's a 2nd down run with Sanders. And he'll be brought down right around the 37.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down, keep the sticks moving.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's Hurts to throw. He finds his tight end, Goddard. That's complete. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Continuing to steadily move the ball down the field. Not big play after big play, but these moderate gains getting him 1st downs.
And you know what they add up to, right? If you continue that pace and you continue to move it downfield, they add up into 6 points. That's exactly what you're looking for.
On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. And incomplete on the deep ball. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Here's 2nd and 10.
Watch the run.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And he will find Scott on the right side complete. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
Silver. Hey, check.
On first down, Hurts. Flushed out right. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far. Picked off by Deshaun Elliott. And the Ravens come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only...